What's up? This is Tony Lewis Jr. You're watching Rap About TV.
Welcome back, man. Appreciate y'all having us again. Rap About TV, episode 9. It's your boy Ab Judah. Here with my man, somebody I respect, Tony Lewis Jr., man.
What's up, man? How you?
I'm good, man. Like, it's for people who don't know, for the audience who don't know, explain a little bit about yourself, your past, and your history. You know what I'm saying? How you got to where you at now?
Well, pretty much, as right now, you know, what some would consider to be a community leader.
Right.
Some of my targets are kids of incarcerated parents,
Okay.
the ex-offender population, so trying to get the people that have been previously incarcerated employed.
That's through Sons of Life, right?
No, Sons of Life is the nonprofit initiative.
Okay.
It's the initiative focusing on kids of incarcerated parents.
Okay.
So that's what Sons of Life is. Myself and four of my partners. You know, all of us being kids of incarcerated parents ourselves.
Right.
That was able to navigate through that and make it, you know, so to speak. And we feel like we wanted to reach back and help others in that position. Outside of that, I've also done a lot, I guess, the local music scene. But really, I'm not in music at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just me being a native Washingtonian.
Right.
My family history run deep in this city. I come up on Hanover Place. You know, so I'm a man of the people, and I just try to utilize that to garner support for people. You know,
Right.
and I really see the music in this city, or entertainment in general, as being another industry that I feel like young black men, young black women, native Washingtonians, people from this area can benefit from,
Right.
if it's cultivated the right way. So yeah, and I call that DC or nothing.
Okay.
The two things combined. You know what I'm saying? The community engagement plus garnering the local support.
Okay. So you spoke a little bit about, you said your family had deep history in the city. Like, explain what you mean by that.
Sure. Well, you know, my grandmother was 86 years old. You know, she came to DC from Florence, South Carolina when she was like 6. So she's been in DC 80 years. We've been on my block for 50 years, 56 years, something like that. Yeah, 56, 57 years. You know, and Hanover Place, for those that don't know, my block since the 40s and 50s has been really rooted in criminality, you know what I'm saying? And then my family members had a lot to do with that. And then moving into the late 70s, early 80s, my block became the epicenter of the cocaine trade. And you know, that's that. And then during that time, that's, you know, my father was one of the people responsible for, active in that. My father and my uncles and stuff like that. So, and then he would go on, a lot of people more familiar with the fact he would go on, be alleged partner of Rafe Webman and go to jail in 1989, and get a life sentence. But I mean, that kind of, you know, reputation or what have you, that history is where I was birthed out of that, you know? I come from that, and it's not nothing that I'm ashamed of. I'm not proud of it, but I'm definitely, I'm proud of where I come from and who I come from, because they instilled a lot of positivity in me. And, you know, and I'm glad I was able to go on, move forward, and go in a different direction.
So granted you was still young, 9 years old, you said, when your father went away. How was that like? Like, do you remember what your thinking was like at that time?
I mean, I absolutely. Like it was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta think, man, like that. My father wasn't just like this big drug dealer to me.
Right.
He was my
He was
dad.
a hero.
You feel me?
Right.
Yeah, like, you know, eat breakfast together, come pick me up from school. Like I said, it's just my father, you know. So, like anybody else, when that person is taken away from you, man, that hurt.
Right.
And then, you know, I don't have no brothers and sisters with an only child. And like, was no buffer. You know what I'm saying? Every day you cut on the news, and your father on the news, and the people, his friends, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you seeing these things, they getting flown in on helicopters to court, and you going to Quantico Marine Base to visit them and stuff like that. So people don't even understand, you know, the levels of that. It's impossible to forget that. You know, that stuff etched in your brain, man, forever.
Did you know what he was doing when you was that age?
Well,
or just something it was completely
well,
oblivious
nah,
to?
this is the thing, you 9. right? So you just don't get the gravity of it. I know my father didn't have a job.
Right.
You know, like when people used to go to school and they ask you with your parents. One of my parents, my father come pick me up in a Porsche though, or one day the BMW the next day, a Benz the next day. You know, but you gotta also think I didn't see people. Nobody around me worked. Period. Like on my block, nobody had a job, so it wasn't odd for us. You sold drugs, you robbed banks, you gambled, you boosted, you robbed people. That's what you did in my community. So it was like. It was just different.
On the music side, I'm real big into music. Right. And then I started hearing your name in the artist music. So like like you were talking about earlier, how did you reach out to these artists? Because of course your name, you know what I'm saying, is something in itself. So there's a respect there automatically. Right. Like how do they reach out to you?
It depends. It's like normally it's probably somebody that they know me kind of thing that make the introduction or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's like about like if they make a groundswell, like just it'll get to me. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I just arbitrarily just chime in, or you know I might bump into somebody somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I'm like the lines in the street. Like I'm, you know what I mean? I'm here. It's not like I'm no mythical character over there to cut somewhere. Like I'm, you know, I can bump into you in your corner store. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people will come up and say, "Hey, I'm such and such," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay. I ain't never seen you, but I heard, you know, whatever."
I feel like to a certain point, it's going. I feel like right now where we at with the talent that's in the city, it's to where like New York was like 10, 15 years ago. Everybody bubbling, everybody know each other, and then you know everybody going pop at the same time.
Absolutely. And I think one of my things too, man, is about that word support. Like it ain't gotta be kumbaya. Right. It's like it ain't got support. Don't necessarily mean that we together every day. That don't mean that. It also, but it just means that you support in a way in which, you know, is a certain positive energy. And if you all are professionals, and that's another thing we got to turn the corner with here. Like, you gonna go after that stuff and you gonna rap or whatever, be in the industry in general. Y'all gotta stop trying to be so consumed with being street dudes. I know what that leads to. You understand? Like, if you gonna be, that's a business. You gotta conduct it.
You gotta pick one. You can't do both.
No, you can't.
It's impossible.
It's impossible, period. And that's my thing. Like, you know, they get caught up so much of what they be seeing, what they think them other dudes are. And if they get a chance, they meet them, you will see it. Listen.
It's a show, man.
Come on, man. We live in history right now. This ain't never happened in Washington. This ain't never happened. What's happening now?
So with the role that you play in music, like, how do you feel about the fact that it's the most influential, you know what I'm saying, musical genre out, but we still don't have the control that we you know what I'm saying, we deserve, or we don't control our image, the music that's played on the radio and things like that. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think, man, that's one of the things where all genres of music, all artists, all the people that you see never have control, right? And I think we just got to change our scope on what we see as being influential. Like you think about the LeBron, but you don't think about the Heat's owner, right? Like LeBron works for him. You know what I mean? These artists, whoever it is, they work for somebody. You know what I mean? That's their job. And until we start controlling or being able to have, I don't like the word control, ownership of media outlets, of companies, and, you know what I mean? And we wealth build and stuff like that. I think so the next step has to be those African Americans that are in that position. We just start to come together, pool money, and build from there.
How you feel about the support? Like you was talking about support from the radio.
Man, you know what? I look for. Our radio, like KISS 93.9, WKYS, man. I think they didn't lay the charge. I think I base it on what it was 4 years ago, not even far ago. It wasn't nothing. Like no interviews, no this, no that. I think the style of our radio though needs to, in terms of like, I haven't seen us be able to, like, take Quicksilver for example, right? Amazing DJ, nationally recognized. You know what I'm saying? Ain't show a whole lot of support. You feel me? I can speak to that. And anybody out there saying Quick don't show support, you crazy. Because I seen it, you know what I'm saying, through the years. You know what I mean? But does Quick have the possibility to kind of break a record here? You know what I mean? Like Flex can break a record in New York. But the thing about it, what dictates that is the listener.
Mm-hmm.
The listener here has to start to be more active. You know what I'm saying? And supportive. So we can start breaking our own records here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't every record that's a hit here was a hit somewhere else first. And even for our own artists might gotta go and have a record break somewhere else for somebody to tell us that it's good.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's again back to DC and nothing. That's what that was about. That, to me, that's insane. Mm-hmm. You look at a lot of I'm talking from Eminem to Nelly to whoever, a lot of those Atlanta guys. They tell you this certain radio station broke my record. Mm-hmm. You think somebody broke a Wale record?
Right.
Now Wale had to go somewhere else, and they said he was good, and come back to us, and we said, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. So for the upcoming guys, Light Show, the Big Fella, you know, Glizzy, they should be able to take their record up to the radio, whether it's KOS or 95.4. 95, I don't know no more. They done turned it into 99.4. They done turned it into top 40. But that also, that's a sign of what's happening in our city. In the Chocolate City, we only got one hip-hop station. But anyway, that's another story. We got our radio station, our radio thing got to progress in that way. And shout out to Angie Ange and Easy Street. And all the people at KISS, man, because they and Big G, of course. You know.
Yeah, man, we appreciate your time, man. Like
Thank
I was
you,
saying,
man.
I learned a lot, you know what I'm saying, in this time we spent together, man. Thank you. RapAboutTV, man. Ab Judah, my man right here, Tony Lewis Jr. We out.
DC and none.
We just finished up with my man Tony Lewis Jr. here, man. Tell them where they can find you at, you know what I'm saying, social networks, anything like that.
Yeah, on Facebook, Tony Lewis, definitely Twitter and Instagram, Mr. Tony Lewis Jr. Be on the lookout for my upcoming memoir. It's yet to be titled, but it should be dropping in 2014. DCandNone.com. Go get your gear, man. Where you
Tony G and Trey got the keys to the nation. Pray for peace with the babies. They're beasts in the summer. Cause he fiending for trouble. He got a